Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you. It's been a while. Ashley Gould here from Cinis Marketing. This morning, our session on TikTok is in sponsorship with Immigration Partnership, Settle, Work, and Belong. Thank you so much, Immigration Partnership, for giving us this opportunity today to talk to you about TikTok for business. All right, we're just going to quickly switch over to a different presentation for you here. I'm going to make this as big as I can for you, okay? So, oops, so sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. So today we are talking about TikTok for business. Very exciting topic, but I'm going to start again for anyone who hasn't joined me for one of our chamber webinars before by telling you about myself. My name is Ashley Gould. I am a Hootsuite certified social media marketing specialist. It's a bit of a mouthful. Really what it means is I've been doing marketing for 10 years and working on social media marketing since Kijiji and Facebook were new ideas and a gram was a unit of measurement, not using things on Instagram. I also own the company Cinis Marketing, located in Ayr, Ontario. I often get asked what Cinis means. It is Latin for ash, so in turn, Cinis is me. So that is who I am, and I'm sure you're more excited on the topic than the person, so let's get going. The first thing I wanted to do is a quick poll. So I want to know who's already using TikTok. So Melissa, if you could put the poll up for everybody now. My question is your business using TikTok right now? Before the presentation. So let's take a minute and see what everybody's response is here. Sorry, it popped up on my second screen, so I'm not looking away from you. Okay, so this is pretty neat. If you look, we're actually pretty close to 50-50. So not literally 50-50. Half of you are using TikTok and half of you aren't. So that's exciting. I think it'll be neat to see, you know, what comes of learning more about it and if we can change somebody's mind or help somebody further the TikTok use in the next hour. I like it. Thanks for the challenge, everybody. All right, so let's talk about TikTok to start, okay? So TikTok is the newest member of the viral social media platforms. There are some new ones coming out, Mastodon, that kind of stuff, but they haven't gone anywhere near what TikTok has done. And it's funny because as a digital marketer 4 years ago, we all talked about TikTok and nobody was really sure where it was going to go, mainly because of its origin. And then the pandemic happened. And with the pandemic and with people suddenly being at home and having this time, TikTok had time to thrive because people could do the silly dances and people could, you know, have fun on the platform. And then once we got back into our day-to-day lives, they continued using the platform, which has been really neat because a lot of the other ones have grown with a different organic reach and with different ideas in mind. Whereas for business and for marketing, we've actually had to catch up with TikTok because of that little pause that turned all our eyes inward during the pandemic when we had time to do things like the dances, which is really neat, right? TikTok has a huge audience, which the next couple slides will show you. And what's neat is that because there aren't as many businesses on TikTok, you can actually grow your reach a lot faster than you can on other social media platforms. So that is one of like the two pendulums of why TikTok is great. The other is that you can create content on TikTok and use it on other social media channels. So they've made this great, easy video creator, and they've given you all these really neat ideas, and they've let you reuse stuff other people have created, and you can do that and have fun with it, and then you can share it all over the place. So it also helps your social media efforts on other platforms as well. So in 2022, I know these stats are a wee bit old, you know, it is almost March, but they haven't come out with the 2023 yet. So this is kind of what I've got for you. 32.5% of users of TikTok are between 10 and 19, and 41% are under 24. But the TikTok audience of adults is growing at a rate of 5.5 times higher than the other platforms. So as much as right now, the answer to the question is, should I be using TikTok for a younger audience? The answer is absolutely yes. if that's, what you're trying to accomplish. The other side of it is more and more adults are going on TikTok as time is going on, and the trend is continuing. So even into 2023, having an adult audience look at your TikToks is more and more feasible than it was, say, in 2020. The app has 1 billion active users, which is a lot, right? The videos are a great way to pass time and make people feel happy. We'll talk about the emotions you're trying to instill in a little while. With the average person spending 52 minutes a day on the app. 167 million TikTok videos are watched in a minute on average, which is kind of bananas when you think about it. That's a lot of videos being watched at one time. Remember, some are short, some are people sliding through, but there is a lot of traction on TikTok at any given time. So if you are trying to get to that under 35 audience, TikTok is definitely something to consider. So we've already talked about the huge user base and the huge engagement, but I do want to spend a minute pointing out that there is less competition on TikTok because a lot of businesses haven't started using it yet. So having TikTok in your repertoire is a great way to further your reach without spending a lot of money in that grouping. Ads also seem more favorable because it's fun content. You're not going to put a stagnant image ad on TikTok. It's going to be some fun thing that you've created, and we're going to get into how to do that. But so your engagement and everything else is higher because the content is better, right? It's more emotionally engaging. When you are using TikTok for business, and this is for the 50% and the 50% of you, make sure you are using a business account and not your personal account for TikTok. And there are several reasons for this, but the main one is to stay out of trouble, okay? A creator account can easily end up with copyright infringements because as a business, you're far more likely for Rihanna not to like that you're using her song on your product than as an individual. And you don't want the individual to also be getting in trouble because they're promoting that business. So keeping that separation and making sure you're not using, non-royalty free video or sound and whatnot on the business page is really important. Because it's there doesn't necessarily mean you can use it, and TikTok's not monitoring that for you. So it's important that if you are a business, you aren't using those songs on your social media platforms. I've heard of 2 people, not clients, but I've heard of 2 people recently who have been slapped with, $10,000 fines for using non-royalty free music on their business accounts. So it's definitely something to take into consideration, and you definitely want to make sure you've split it from yourself because you don't want yourself also to end up in trouble if something like that happens. So we're going to go right back to the basics on how to set up that account, okay? So you're going to go into TikTok, you're going to go down to settings and privacy on your account. You're going to go to manage account, and you're going to switch it to a business account. And then you're going to choose the industry that best suits you. So it's pretty simple once you've created the account to switch it over to a business account. I would give it the business name, have nothing to do with you. You can have a separate account for you, and you can definitely share stuff on both of them. The business stuff on the personal, but I wouldn't share the personal stuff on the business if it's infringing. So once you have your profile set as business, what you want to do is make sure that you choose a profile picture that reflects your brand. So TikTok's not really the place for the logo. People like to see fun. TikTok is meant to be more of a community. There's a lot more vibrance, a lot more creativity. So a photo that showcases your brand. So it can be a photo of you, even though it's the business page. It can be a photo of your product. It can be a photo, like these examples, we have this Josh and Matt design. It's the 2 of them cheersing, right? If you're talking about aesthetics, there can be a lot of aesthetic components. It really just depends on your business, okay? And then like in the second one where she's holding her product, you can, do that as well. The colors color match their branding, which I know we've talked about a lot in our last couple webinars here. Your bio tells them who you are. It's kind of this little thing right underneath here, and you want to keep it short. People aren't here to read. People aren't here to spend a lot of time. People are here to be entertained. So as a business, you need to comprehend that you have 80 characters to tell your story. So you want to remove all the fluff, right? You don't want, it's okay not to have fully grammatic sentences. I am creative nut and owner, right? Tells you exactly who I am. I'm a super creative person. I'm a nut, which, I mean, to put the two together tells people that I'm not the most serious person in the world, let's face it, right? And then I'm also the owner of the business. So, you know, in very short characters, I can tell you exactly who I am on this business, right? So, and again, you know, or social media management, and then, you know, little emojis. So simple and to the point, remove your fluff. And then add a call to action. On TikTok, when they're on your profile, you want to tell them where to go. So often when I'm on business TikTok profiles, that's an opportunity I see lost, because you can just add your website. You can add a way to your other social media. If you sell everything through an Instagram shop, you can even add that link there. So give them a call to action, tell them somewhere to go, your YouTube, wherever it is you're sending them for the next step in becoming a client, or giving you some ROI in some way. You want to have that call to action right there, clearly on the front page. And then you want to start creating some very engaging content for them to enjoy. So how to create effective TikTok content. Obviously, that's the majority of the reason we're here. And I'm going to start with a quick video, and we're not going to watch the whole thing, but it was put out by TikTok for Business. And honestly, I could recreate it, but they've done such a good job with it that I'm going to let you watch the first maybe 2 minutes, just so you can kind of get an idea of how to wrap your head around the fact that yes, you're marketing, and yes, you want to get the same idea across you are on your billboard, but you have to do it in a new, fun, vibrant movement video kind of way. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking and let this video do the talking for me for the first couple minutes here, or the next couple minutes here. Oops, maybe I'm not.
Hi, my name is Michelle Gonzalez, and today we're going to be talking about content strategy. These tips and best practices can help make all the difference in getting there. Let's talk about context first. Context is king. Why? Think about this. When you create videos on TikTok, they could land on the For You pages of people all around the world. So think about creating videos you love that might appeal to audiences that aren't familiar with you. One way to help new viewers is to provide as much context as possible as early as possible. Help them understand the story that you're trying to tell. Think about using TikTok's text on video feature to place text on the video as soon as it starts. That way you can immediately let a viewer know what they're watching. If you're sharing some travel tips, think about text like top 5 most comfortable seats in the sky. If you're uploading a video on must-have beauty items, try text like 5 must-have beauty products. Basically, think about how you would describe your video in a few short words. Another way to provide context is with descriptions that are straight to the point and easy to understand. Those short bits of text that we talked about earlier, consider using them in your description too. Remember, the better you're able to help viewers understand your video right away, the more likely they are to stick around and watch. Let's talk about first impressions. It's easy to scroll through your TikTok feed pretty quickly. That's why it's important to set a great first impression. Capture a viewer's attention right away. There are a few ways to make this happen. 1, think about your opening shot. Start telling your story right away with visually interesting footage that could grab someone's attention. For instance, in a travel video, I love opening with a shot of a stunning plane seat or beautiful scenery. 2, you want to avoid slow introductions. If a viewer has to watch 4 to 5 seconds of your video to see what you're talking about, they're probably not going to stick around. And 3, think about quality framing and sound. If your video is shaky or blurry, or if your audio is unclear, consider reshooting if you can. Remember, those precious first few seconds make a massive difference on viewer retention. So always think about first impressions.
So I love that video. It is in the slides that were sent to you, so you should have access to it after if you want to watch the whole thing. And I think a key part of that is that you have their attention for 2 seconds. Like, she's being generous by saying if you use 5, they're not going to pay attention. If in the first 2 seconds you don't have their attention, they're going to swipe, right? So 1, 2, I'm saying Mississippi in my head, right? That's it. That's all the time you have to get their attention. Another neat feature that TikTok has come out with lately is that right away when you upload a video, the text shows up on the top of the first screen, which is a fantastic way to add something like that 5 best travel destinations that she had there. So they make it really user friendly, and we're going to talk about how to do it here, but that's just meant to show you that it is a different frame of mind from other platforms, very similar to Instagram Reels. So if you're using that, you might be like, oh, there's so many similarities here. Absolutely. They're very similar platforms. But if you are more a LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter user, you may find this to be a bit of a new concept. Okay. So there's some key strategies to follow. Just key ideas, things you can do. Let's face it, we're not all jet setters. We don't all have video of a beautiful ocean scenery or ourselves in a glass bottom kayak or in, first class on an airplane. I've never been on first class on an airplane, so I can't show you what it looks like. But what you can do is make them feel like they're part of your community. And a great way to do that is to show them around your office, give them a glimpse inside who you guys are as a business. We don't want to just see those stagnant product shots anymore, right? We want to see the fun you're having in the office. We want to see your packaging and unboxing and when you're getting stock in, and that's what we want to see, and that can make for a great TikTok. You also want to create short videos showcasing your products and services. So again, unboxings have been huge for about 2 years now. There's something about people opening a box. It's like opening a present, and I'm like, ooh, what's in the box, right? Simple. It's not as big and scary as the stuff she showed on the last page, but equally as effective, because if you open the box fast enough and you're excited and you say, guess what we got in today, or it's like Christmas in the office as your little verbiage, they get excited for you. They want to know what you got in. And that's why they're there. They're there for joy and entertainment and to see your product kind of by the sideline. Another thing I recommend, I usually say be silly. So it is lip syncing, acting, and being silly is the actual wording that I'm using. But be silly in your business. Be silly, be smart about being silly. For example, I work with a couple construction companies. Well, you can't have the guys being silly on site. They have to be really careful because they're on site. There's a lot of rules and stipulations about what they're doing, but they still get lunch breaks. They still can, go off site to show you that their beard has frozen, right? It's that simple stuff that entertains us and makes us feel a closeness and a camaraderie with your business and makes us want to work with you more. And yes, that works for the under 35 crowd, but that number is growing. So even the under 50 crowd are still going to think it's funny when they see your construction worker with snow in his beard and the guys laughing around him on lunch, right? So be silly, but be smart about being silly, because you can get yourself in trouble. Don't get yourself fired. Don't get yourself in trouble, but try and be silly. Lip syncing is fun. I mean, there is a lot of TikTok video and a lot of TikTok it's all video, songs and dances and that kind of stuff. And if you can utilize them, and if your staff want to do a TikTok dance, I know several police stations by doing like TikTok lip syncing and whatnot have actually hugely increased their following base. They have to be careful because they can't do all the trends, only the royalty-free ones, but there are still some where they can come out and have some fun. And it has nothing to do with what they are, but it shows that, for their brand, they're not the most serious people in the world. There's more to them than just that persona of an officer, and they're having some fun. They're being silly. They're lip syncing, acting, and being silly, and they're being humorous. We go on there to have a good time. So if you're on there being like, welcome to my business, this is my product, people are going to swipe because that's not what they're looking for. If you say, oh my goodness, and you squirt lotion and it accidentally, does something, they're going to laugh. They're going to stick around and see what happens. And then you can tell them about your product in a creative way. So how do we use TikTok to create content? I've told you all this fun content ideas. I've told you all about, how to best make your page. Let's talk about how we make content. So I go, okay, I'm Cinis Marketing. I want to make some content. I want to look for ideas on TikTok because I don't want to recreate the wheel. I just want to do what's already there. Okay. So a great way to do that is research. So I'm going to look at similar businesses and hashtags. So similar businesses, you know, for me, I'm a B2B business to business. I work with businesses. So I look for other business to business ideas, not just social media marketers, because let's face it, if we all do the same thing, it's very boring. So, you know, I'll go as far as the BBB. So BBB had this great video of this girl running away from fraudulent lenders. And I'll look at hashtags. So I'll look up events, or, you know, if I'm an event planner, I'll look up events, event planning, whatnot, and I'll look up that hashtag, and then I'll see what's trending, and you'll see those numbers beside that. So hashtag event has 493.8 million views. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to see if there's anything fun I can use, because I could find that, you know, most of the front page is the same content, the same idea, the same video. So I'll find what's trending, right? And it's always great to know what's trending and to look and then to use those hashtags after I've created my content so that I can trend too. So this is the video that the BBB created, and I'm showing it to you because we're going to pretend we're me. So I'm going to, you know, I've recreated this myself and rebranded it myself to be me instead of them. So we'll start with where they started. So the BBB said, me running away from fraudulent lenders. So the Better Business Bureau deals with fraud investigation and whatnot. So this makes sense for them. So this video, again, just silly. Okay, so she's the oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. And she's running down the stairs. Okay, so I look at this, I think that's really fun. So I put my own spin on it. I know, you know, maybe not my best face day, but whatever. And I turn it into this. And I did this in late 2022. So it did say, when I hear you haven't created a digital marketing strategy in 2022, and the same.
When I hear a business hasn't created a 2022 digital marketing strategy.
With the same, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 what's going on? Right? So I tweaked it for my business. So I didn't recreate the wheel. It took less than 5 minutes. I thought hers was funny and there was a good way to spin it for me. So I did. So now you want to know how, right? How did you do that? So I took her video. And if you look at the bottom of somebody's video, you can see where there's a little kind of darker gray rectangle with a yellow icon in the corner that says Versailles Run. Okay. So if I click on that icon, I come over, if you follow that gray arrow, to that filter, and I can use that filter at the top there. I can choose use that filter, right? And then at the bottom, a little bit further down under BBB and her words, you can see the little music note and the song. And if I click there, I can use that sound. So I add the sound and the effect she used, and the filter puts my face in, and I lip sync, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 5 times, and I'm done, right? And then I just add my front, being like, when people don't have a social media plan, now it would be in 2023. And you know, I've tweaked it. I've taken content that I found funny, but made it work for my business. And for a while, this was everywhere. Everybody was loving this poor panicked filter girl who was just running away in Versailles. So she was everywhere. So it was trending, and it was funny, and it was easy to switch from her business to mine. And it took me less than 5 minutes to make. So it doesn't have to be scary and difficult. Like between this, opening a box, these are things that you can do fairly simply without it being a big deal. So if you want to start your content from scratch, you're going to start with this front screen. I kind of got it in 3 here for you. At the bottom of the screen, you're going to choose the little plus button in the very middle. And then you're going to have some options. So then if you switch to that middle screen, you can choose if you want to use an existing template, a 15-second video, or a 60-second video. That's at the very bottom there. Then you can decide to upload existing content. So maybe you filmed it early and you're just adding sound over it or whatnot, or it's a bunch of pictures and you're putting them to music. You can upload that on this middle screen, or you can add effects and filters. So if I wanted to create that Versailles effect from scratch for myself, I'd be able to find that in filters. If I'm not having the prettiest day, I can add some makeup. A lot of people put a filter on their faces. I find that tricky. I mean, I am who I am, but that's just me, right? There are people who like that, and you can always filter yourself. I mean, I could make myself look like a gremlin if I want, because there's a million effects. So you can do whatever you want. I had a client who wanted hearts all around her when she talked for Valentine's Day. So she did a great job with that. And again, it was just using those filters. You're going to hold the record button and you're going to talk or do whatever you're going to do if you haven't uploaded the video. And then you can add filters, you can add flash, you can add beauty after the fact. You can edit your content all right on that page. Okay. And then once your video is done, it's going to show up on the next page and the whole clip's going to be on the bottom. But maybe you started and then you were like, kids, be quiet. It's a snow day and I'm trying to listen. And then you came back and you talked again. You can edit the length of your clip. So you can crop it right there. You don't have to restart if something like that happens. You can crop it right there. And then you can add a caption and hashtags and next, and you post it. Okay. So when hashtagging, you only get 300 characters for your whole thing. So you're talking and you're hashtagging. So you want to talk in hashtags. No, I didn't put that in a slide. You want to talk in hashtags. So Ashley from hashtag Cinis Marketing, creating the hashtag Versailles trend. If you don't have a hashtag 2023 marketing plan, use the hashtags in your words because you don't have a lot of characters. Very similar to how Twitter. Same idea where you're kind of hashtagging in your sentences. It's okay for them not to be full sentences. It's more important that the hashtags are there because hashtags are the #1 way that people see posts on TikTok. So it's important that you're using as many hashtags as you can and kind of get creative with your hashtags. Things like, you look up the trending hashtags, so if I put in hashtag social media, like you saw, can I go back? Yes. Here, if I put in hashtag social media, it's going to show me all these other hashtags. So I can go, oh, look, hashtag social media event has 493 million views. I'm going to do that one. Social media challenge has 186. I'm going to do that one. So it helps you explore and grow by paying attention to how often the hashtags are being used and which hashtags are trending. And TikTok is very helpful with that while you're writing your descriptor. Okay. So a question I get asked a lot is, how do I use my TikTok content on other platforms? I put it on Instagram and it doesn't get a lot of likes and I don't know why. Well, I'm going to share something with you today. Instagram doesn't want you using TikTok Reels on Instagram. They want you to use Instagram Reels, right? So their way of curbing that is that if you have the TikTok watermark on your video and you post it on Instagram, you are going to have less people see it because the algorithm, once it catches the watermark, is going to make sure less people see it. Okay. So the easiest way to fix that is to remove the watermarks, which is actually very simple. There are several websites that will upload your video and then download it without that TikTok watermark dancing around the screen. And I've put one on the screen that I use because I know I'm always afraid of getting viruses with that kind of stuff, right? When you're kind of trying to find a new platform to do stuff. So this one, media.io, I use them all the time. I've never had an issue and they're fantastic for removing the watermark. And then when I post it on Instagram, Instagram thinks I've used Reels or made it using an app and it gets further exposure than it would if I just downloaded it and uploaded it again. But you're spending all this time creating something fun and you're spending all this time creating fun content. People want to see that on Instagram too, and on Facebook for that matter. People want the fun. We all want the vibrance in our world. There's enough like deep stuff that utilizing this and resharing that content is a great way to, in another 5 minutes, further your reach. Okay. So we're going to talk about the 2023 trends. It is only February. So, this is fairly relevant still. But let's look at things you can be doing to further your TikTok. So this is more for the 50% already using it. But if you're the 50% not using it yet, and you're so excited after what I just showed you, this could be for you too, right? So on TikTok, the more entertaining ad you have, the better. You're going to show up 25% more if you're funny, right? To get views, you need to get their attention. You have 2 seconds. So as much as to you, your business is the most exciting thing in the world. I know it is for me. I eat, sleep, and breathe digital marketing. It's not that exciting for other people. So how do I make it exciting in 2 seconds? That's really important in 2023 because more people are jumping on the bandwagon. More people are going to seminars like we are right now. More people are investing in TikTok as part of their business social media strategy. And with that, to stay on top, you need to make sure you're funny and you're fast funny and you're grabbing their attention really fast and you're making them feel like they're part of you. So it's all about that actionable entertainment. Okay. The second is to make space for joy. The world is heavy enough. If there is a positive emotion that is instilled in someone through a TikTok video, that is the only way. I mean, 92. So other than 8%, that is the only way they're going to do something offline with it, right? So not only do we want people to watch our videos, we want them to share them and engage in them. And 92% of people will only do that if they feel joy after a TikTok experience. So you want them to smile, right? Whether they just like it, they share it, they comment, no matter what their engagement with you is, they're doing it because you made them smile, you made them laugh, you made them want to buy something, you made them think, wow, construction's not boring, that guy has a really funny beard, right? You've done something to engage that audience, and that's why they're going to make a difference. So 92%, that's a really high number, right? So if it's boring, only 8% of people are going to do something with it. And next is the community building ideals. I talked about this right from the beginning because I think this is important on all social media platforms right now. If we feel like we're part of your community, we are far more invested in your success, right? If we know what your office looks like, if we know, what your employees are doing on a day-to-day basis, if we know what products you've just had come in, if we feel like you care about us, we are so much more likely to care about you, right? So in TikTok, it's all about communities. That's how you gain followers. And sometimes you're helping them get a new interest, you're bonding over interests, all kinds of different stuff like that. But on TikTok, 71% of users who took an action off platform as a result said it because they showed them exactly what they were looking for, right? They were part of that community. They were like, yeah. And it doesn't even have to be a community that they thought they were going to be interested in the first place. But if you do it right, at the end, they feel like you're giving them a bit of you and they're giving you a bit of them. And now they're invested, which I guess is marketing in a nutshell, right? Okay, I'm going to turn into the devil's advocate for a minute, okay? What if TikTok fails or is removed as a platform? So I'm in a lot of social media groups, and the amount of time that is spent with people discussing this is kind of bananas. Because TikTok is a platform that is, oh, am I frozen? I think I froze for a minute there. So I'm just going to start this sentence over again. TikTok is a platform that comes from China. And as such, a lot of businesses are banning TikTok from company devices. Okay, it's true. It's a problem. It's a thing. It's happening. And I put a news article at the bottom from the Star. Canada must take action on TikTok. As TikTok bans across the world, Canada should follow. More scrutiny. It's scary. People make it sound big. The reality is we don't want our company secrets divulged to TikTok. And if I work for, the government, maybe I shouldn't have social media on my government phone for that exact reason. I don't disagree with that. I don't think I should have any social media on that phone. Like for me, if your job is that classified, you most definitely should have 2 devices. But there is talk that eventually that will be the demise of TikTok. So you're thinking, why am I going to put money and time into TikTok if at the end of the day, they might shut down the platform? I lose all that follower growth and all that momentum I put time into. And the way I look at it is it's here now. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And as long as you're reusing that content, it's not a waste of time because that content is easy to make. It's fun. And it's great for your Instagram reels. It's great to use on other platforms, even a Facebook reel, right? Like they're pushing reels right now too. So having it there, so it's repurposable. And if you're living in the now in your marketing, people don't look at your marketing from 3 years ago right now, right? You're catching their attention with the stuff you're doing right now. That billboard you put up 4 years ago probably isn't getting you a lot of traction right now, but the billboard you have up now is. So in marketing, we do have to live in the now a little bit. And now TikTok is huge, right? TikTok is great. And as long as your phone is not filled with government secrets and, you know, things that are worth stealing, I think you're fine to be using TikTok. There are no articles about them stealing banking information or personal information or anything like that. It's literally just more people talking about this government's trying to make sure that it's not possible for them to steal their data. So live in the now and repurposing. Those are my answers to the what if TikTok fails question. Okay. So Melissa, we're ready for another little poll here. Is your business going to use TikTok moving forward? I've talked a lot. I've talked fast. I've given you a lot to deal with. Do you think that TikTok is maybe a good platform for your business moving forward? All my nose turned to maybes, so I'm going to call that good. Honestly, it's not hard. Play around on it. You know, the royalty-free thing is important. Obviously, you don't want to accidentally, oh, look at that. We've got the 5. Okay, so we're done now. Oh, no, we're not done yet. It is fun. It's engaging. And as long as you're using it elsewhere, you don't really have to worry about, the longevity of TikTok as a business, as well as it's a very user-friendly platform. And I think that's why it's growing for the older generation now. What I find is more of them going, oh, this is just like, all I have to do is this and this, and I create this really cool video. And it's helping people self-market. So I think that that's kind of a neat take on it. Okay, so our poll results are done. So we are at 53% yeses, 5% no's, and 42% maybes. So that's good. We've gotten better than we were at the beginning, right? I definitely think that if you have questions, contact Melissa, contact myself, and we can definitely, you know, help you while you kind of go on this journey. It's fun though, honestly. Oh, why can't I? And that's it, guys. I made it simple for today. I hope that you've all learned a thing or two about TikTok, and I wanted to save some time for your questions in case there's something specific that you popped on here and shared your time with me today to discuss.